She sent the text to the wrong number. A Korean mafia boss replied. Maya Brooks pressed herself against the motel bathroom wall, phone battery at 4%, vision blurred from silent crying. Her thumb kept slipping. Each keystroke felt wrong. He is going to kill me. Howard Johnson on 82nd, room 12. They found me. Please. The message went to a contact she didn't recognize. Some stranger who'd called weeks ago, asking for someone named Lisa. She'd saved it by accident. Deleted it from memory, but not from her phone. The motel room door was already open. Not kicked in, not forced, just unlocked from the inside like someone had a key. Like someone knew exactly where she was. Like the system that promised to protect her had sold her out for cash. Her phone buzzed. 10 seconds. That's all it took. Stay where you are. Do not open the door. Do not make a sound. How many walls between you and him? Maya stared at the screen. Wrong number. She'd texted a stranger while a man with a gun was searching her room, but the stranger answered, like they knew, like they'd been waiting for exactly this kind of message. Who is this? Her fingers shook so hard she had to retype it twice. Someone who answers when people are dying. How many walls? Maya heard footsteps, slow, methodical. Whoever was in her room wasn't rushing. They were searching, drawers sliding open, her suitcase unzipping, papers being moved with surgical precision, just the bathroom door. It's thin. I can hear him breathing. The reply came with a timestamp. 12 minutes. Get in the bathtub and lie flat. Cover your head. When you hear glass break, do not move until someone says your name twice. Maya didn't understand, but she was out of options. The U.S. Marshal Service had promised her safety 8 months ago. New name, new city, new life. All she had to do was testify against Detective Warren Moss, the dirty cop who executed a 15-year-old girl in a Chicago alley. The girl's name was Destiny Martinez. She was still holding her backpack when Warren put 2 bullets in her chest. Maya saw it happen. Maya reported it. Warren went to prison, and now someone was in her motel room using a key they shouldn't have. She climbed into the tub. The porcelain pressed ice against her spine. She could hear him now. Closer, right outside the bathroom door. Then she heard his voice and every muscle in her body locked up. Maya, you're making this harder than it needs to be. He used her real name, not the one the marshals gave her. Her real name. The bathroom door handle turned. Locked. He kicked it once. The frame cracked. Wood splintered, but the lock held. He kicked it again. The lock broke. The door swung open. Maya squeezed her eyes shut. This was it. This was how it ended. Hiding in a bathtub in Portland, waiting for a bullet she'd never hear coming. Then the window exploded. Not broke. Exploded. Safety glass blew inward in a crystalline wave. Men shouted in Korean. Something heavy slammed into the wall so hard the bathroom mirror shattered. No gunshots, just impact and breaking, and then silence. Footsteps, coming toward the bathroom. Maya pressed herself flat. Someone grabbed the shower curtain and ripped it aside. A man stood there, Korean, mid-30s, black tactical jacket, leather gloves with fresh blood on the knuckles. His face was completely calm. Empty, like breaking into motel rooms and destroying people was something he did before breakfast. He looked at Maya and said her name once. Maya Brooks. She didn't move. Couldn't move. Every survival instinct screaming, don't make a sound, don't breathe, don't exist. He said it again. Maya Brooks. This was the person from the phone. Welcome to Coffee Romance Stories. And honey, you just stepped into something that'll rewrite everything you thought you knew about protection. If you've been riding with me, you know we don't do safe here. We do dangerous, addictive, the kind of devotion that brands your soul and refuses to let go. Hit that like button, subscribe because you're already hooked. Smash that notification bell because what happens next will haunt you. Now let's watch how a wrong number text leads to a darker secret. The man lifted Maya out of the tub like she weighed nothing, a coat wrapped around her shoulders. Heavy, expensive, still warm from someone else's body. She was walked into the main room and her stomach dropped. The hunter was on the floor, face pressed into carpet, right arm bent backward at an angle that made her vision spark. 2 other men stood over him. One was younger, late 20s, scar cutting down his left cheek. He stared at Maya like she was a problem that needed solving, like she was evidence that should have been burned. The Korean man who'd pulled her from the tub didn't look at the body. He said something in Korean. Sharp, quiet. The 2 men dragged the hunter out through the shattered window, just like that, gone. He turned to Maya. I am Jin Park. You sent me a message meant for someone else. I need you to come with me now. The younger man with the scar stepped forward. Boss, we don't have time for this. His English was perfect, but his tone was ice. She's a liability. Jin didn't look at him. Marcus, outside. Marcus held Jin's gaze 3 seconds too long. Not respect. Challenge. Then he turned and walked out. Maya tried to speak, tried to say she needed to call her handler, Carl, call the marshals, call someone who could fix this. But Jin cut her off with 2 words. Carl's dead. The floor tilted. Jin pulled out his phone and showed her a picture. Carl slumped in the driver's seat of his sedan in a Safeway parking lot, police tape in the background. The headline read, Federal Marshal found dead of apparent heart attack. Jin swiped, another photo, close-up of Carl's neck, bruises, finger-shaped, 5 distinct points of pressure. They made it look natural. It wasn't. Jin put his phone away. He found out someone sold your location. He tried to move you off the books. They killed him before he could. Maya couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. Jin kept talking, steady, calm, like he was explaining a business transaction. The man who just tried to kill you is Aaron Lyle, retired police sergeant. He was paid $40,000 to find you and confirm the kill. He's the 3rd one sent to Portland this week. There are 2 more already in the city. How do you know that? Because I make it my business to know when people move through my territory without asking. Maya's voice cracked. Why did you help me? Jin looked at her for a long moment. Something shifted in his expression. Something distant and sharp and full of old violence. 16 years ago, my mother called 911. She told them my father was going to kill her. 2 police officers came to our house in Seattle. They were friends with my father. They told my mother she was being dramatic. They left. His voice didn't change, but his eyes went empty. My father killed her 4 hours later. Then he killed my younger sister. Then he shot himself. The officers who ignored her call were never charged. One of them is now a deputy. When I saw your message, I knew exactly what it meant. You were calling for help from a system that already failed you. I don't let that happen in front of me anymore. Maya didn't know what to say. Jin didn't wait for her to respond. You're coming with me. You'll stay under my protection until the threat is eliminated. What does eliminated mean? It means everyone who was paid to kill you will be dead. The person who paid them will be dead. Anyone who knew your location will be gone. You won't need witness protection because there will be no one left to run from. Maya should have been terrified. Instead, she felt something she hadn't felt in 8 months. She felt like someone was finally telling her the truth. Jin took her to a house on the outskirts of Portland. Looked abandoned from outside. Inside it was clean, professional. Monitors showing camera feeds from all over the city. Weapons locked in cases. 4 people moving with military precision when Jin spoke. A woman in her 40s with kind eyes introduced herself as Yuna. She cleaned the scrapes on Maya's knees with gentle hands. You're safe now. Maya wanted to believe her. Then Marcus walked past. He muttered something in Korean to another man. The other man laughed. Yuna's expression hardened. Marcus, her voice sharp as broken glass. Marcus didn't look back. Yuna leaned close. Don't mind him, he has trust issues, but the way she said it sounded like a warning. Jin sat Maya down and explained simply. The man who wanted her dead was Victor Moss, Warren Moss's older brother. Victor ran a contract killing network built on retired cops and private security. He didn't care that Warren was in prison. He cared that a witness lived long enough to put him there. If witnesses believe they can talk and survive, Victor's entire business collapses. Jin's eyes didn't leave hers, so he paid someone inside the marshal's service to give up your location. That person is still active, still selling names. Maya felt sick. What do you want in return? Jin leaned back. I want Victor Moss. He's been moving operations into territory I control. He's sloppy, disrespectful. You're the bait that brings him into the open. If you help me, I'll kill him in front of you so you know it's over. If you don't help me, I'll still protect you. But you'll spend the next 3 months locked in a room because I can't risk you being seen. Maya realized she didn't have a choice that felt like freedom. She agreed. Over the next 10 days, Jin taught Maya how his world operated. He didn't run drugs, didn't traffic people. He moved information and leverage. He owned cops, lawyers, politicians, judges. Not through fear, through mutually beneficial arrangements. Victor's network is built on violence and intimidation, Jin explained one night. That kind of structure always eats itself. My people stay loyal because I make them rich and keep them breathing. Victor's people stay loyal because they're terrified, and terror doesn't last. Maya watched Jin work. He never yelled, never threatened. He spoke quietly on the phone, and within hours things happened across the city. A building sold, a case dropped. A man who stole from him lost his business and his reputation but kept his life. One night Maya couldn't sleep. She found Yuna sitting alone at the kitchen table. Can't sleep either? Yuna asked. They talked. Yuna told her she'd worked for Jin 7 years. Before that she was a social worker in Seattle. I saw too many people fall through the cracks. Jin doesn't let people fall. That's why I'm here. Maya asked if she ever thought about leaving. Yuna's smile faded. There was someone before you. Another person Jin saved. His name was David. He wanted out after 8 months. Jin said okay. David walked out that door. She pointed to the front entrance. 2 days later he overdosed in a motel room in Tacoma. Maya's blood went cold. Jin killed him? I don't know. Yuna's voice barely a whisper. David didn't use drugs, and Jin didn't seem surprised when we found the body. He just said, people who leave my protection usually don't survive long. Yuna met Maya's eyes. I'm telling you this because you seem like a good person. Be careful. Jin saves people, but he also collects them, and I don't know what happens when the collection gets too expensive to maintain. Maya didn't sleep that night. She watched Jin through the monitors. He stood alone in his office in front of a small photograph on his desk, a woman and a little girl, his mother and sister. He didn't pray, didn't cry, just stood there. Maya understood then. Jin didn't save her out of kindness. He saved her because every time someone like her died, it was his mother dying again. She wasn't a person to him. She was a second chance to rewrite the ending he couldn't change. It should have bothered her. It didn't. She'd rather be his second chance than a corpse in a drawer marked closed. But Yuna's words echoed. What happens when Jin decides she's no longer useful? Jin's plan began. He leaked Maya's location to a man named Hector Ruiz who owed Victor money. Hector would think he found her by accident. He'd arrange the meeting with Victor. Then Jin would take them both. Victor killed a girl in my territory 2 years ago, Jin said one night, his voice flat, empty, a runaway who saw something she shouldn't have. He had her drowned in the river. Police called it suicide. I've been waiting for the right moment to end him. You are that moment. Maya felt ice in her spine. Were you ever going to tell me that? No. You didn't need to know. But now you do. Maya realized she wasn't just bait. She was the final piece of something Jin had been building long before she sent that text. She didn't know if that made her feel safer or more trapped. The plan moved forward. Jin's people let Hector think he found Maya alone in a storage unit near the docks. Hector brought her to Victor at a private airport hangar 20 minutes outside Portland. Victor Moss was older than Maya expected. Gray hair, expensive suit. He looked like someone's grandfather. He thanked Hector and then shot him in the side of the head without pausing his sentence. Hector's body dropped. Victor turned to Maya and smiled. "You've caused me a significant amount of inconvenience." He explained he was going to kill her on camera, send the video to 3 other witnesses in protection, show them what happens when people talk. He had a tripod set up, a chair with restraints. Maya's hands shook, but her mind was clear. She thought about the 15-year-old girl in the alley. The girl was still holding her backpack, walking home from tutoring. Her name was Destiny Martinez. Maya whispered the name. "What?" Victor asked. "Destiny Martinez. That's the name of the girl Warren killed, the one I testified about. You probably don't even remember her name." Victor's smile didn't change. "I don't need to remember names, I just need to remember consequences." Victor was halfway through explaining how long it would take when the hangar lights cut out. Maya dropped to the floor like Jin told her to. She heard suppressed gunfire, men yelling, then choking, then nothing. The lights came back on. Victor was on his knees, hands zip-tied behind his back. Jin stood behind him holding a knife to his throat. Jin's people had cleared the entire hangar. 4 of Victor's men dead on the floor, Victor the only one left breathing. Marcus stood near the entrance, watching Maya with an expression she couldn't read. Jin looked at Maya, didn't say anything, just held out the knife. Maya stared at it. She thought about Carl slumped in his car, 8 months of looking over her shoulder, being told to trust the system. She walked over, took the knife. Victor started talking fast. Money, names, he'd disappear. Maya didn't let him finish. "This is for Destiny Martinez." She cut his throat. Not fast, not clean. She wanted him to feel it. Victor gurgled, collapsed forward. Maya dropped the knife. Her hands shook. She expected guilt, horror. She felt nothing, just finished. She looked at Jin. "It's done." Jin picked up the knife, wiped it on Victor's jacket. But then his expression changed. He was looking at something behind Maya. She turned. Marcus was holding his phone up. He'd been filming. "What are you doing?" Maya asked. Marcus lowered the phone slowly. "Insurance." Jin's voice cut through the air like a blade. "Delete it." Marcus met Jin's eyes. "No." The air went cold. Jin's people shifted positions. Weapons not drawn, but everyone ready. Marcus continued. "You're getting sloppy, boss. First you save a random witness. Then you let her kill a major player on camera. You're not thinking strategically, you're thinking emotionally. That makes you weak." Jin took a step toward Marcus. "I said delete it. Make me. 5 seconds." No one breathed. Jin nodded once. 2 of his people moved toward Marcus. Marcus raised his hands. "Relax. I'll delete it." He made a show of deleting the video. "See? Gone." But Maya saw the smile at the corner of his mouth. He was lying. He sent it somewhere first. Jin saw it too, but he didn't push it. "Get her out of here." Yuna walked Maya out. Behind her she heard Jin and Marcus talking in low voices. She couldn't hear the words, but she could hear the tension. They drove back in silence. When they got to the house, Jin poured Maya a drink and sat across from her. "It's done. Victor's dead. His network will collapse. The leak in the marshal's office has been handled. You're free." Maya asked what handled meant. "The deputy marshal who sold your location was found dead in his home 3 hours ago. It'll be ruled a suicide. There will be an investigation, but it will find nothing." Maya should have felt relieved. Instead, she felt cold. "When did you find out who the leak was?" Jin didn't hesitate. 2 days after I pulled you out of that motel." Maya went still. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you weren't ready to know that I killed him before you ever agreed to help me. I was always going to kill Victor. I was always going to kill the marshal. You were the justification I needed to do it without blowback." Maya felt the floor disappear. "Was any of it real?" Jin leaned forward. "All of it was real. I meant everything I said, but I also used you. That's what people like me do. We see opportunities and we take them. You survived because I needed you to. Now you're free because I'm finished." Maya stood, her voice barely a whisper. "I don't feel guilty. I just killed a man. I should feel something. But I don't. What does that make me?" Jin was quiet for a moment. "It makes you someone who survived. Is that what you tell yourself? Every day?" Maya looked at her hands. "I called 911 when I saw Warren kill that girl. I did everything right. And I still almost died in a motel bathroom. So yeah, I stopped waiting for the system to save me." She looked up at Jin. "Does it ever get easier?" "No. But you get better at carrying it." Maya sat back down. She should leave, walk out and never look back. But instead she asked Jin a question. "If I leave, do you lose anything?" Jin looked at her for a long time. "Yes. I lose the only person who knows what I am and is still sitting in this room." Maya felt her chest tighten. "What happens if I stay? Then you're part of this. You don't get to pretend you're innocent. You killed a man tonight. You're already complicit. If you stay, you'll see worse. You'll be part of worse. There is no going back." Maya thought about David overdosing in that motel. She thought about Marcus filming her. She thought about Jin standing alone in front of that photograph. "I don't want to go back." Jin's expression didn't change, but something in his eyes shifted. "Then you stay." 3 weeks later, Maya sat in Jin's office learning encrypted communications. She was good with details, patterns. Jin noticed. She wasn't just under his protection anymore. She was becoming part of his operation. Marcus walked past the office, glanced in. Didn't say anything, but Maya saw the way he looked at her, like she was a problem he was waiting to solve. She mentioned it to Yuna once. Yuna just said, "Marcus has been with Jin for 12 years. You've been here 3 weeks. He sees you as a threat to his position. Be careful." Jin walked in holding a manila folder. His expression was strange, not angry, not concerned. Something else. He sat down across from Maya. "There's something you should see." He slid the folder across. Maya opened it. Inside was a photo of Carl's body. She'd seen it before. But there was a second photo underneath. Carl meeting someone in a parking garage. Timestamp said 2 weeks before Carl died. Maya squinted at the second figure. They were facing away from the camera. Baseball cap, dark jacket. She couldn't see who it was. "Who is that?" Jin's expression darkened. "That's what we're going to find out." Maya looked closer. Something about the person's build seemed familiar. "Wait, is that I don't know yet. But whoever it is, they met with Carl twice in the week before he died, and Carl didn't report either meeting." Jin leaned forward. "I need to know if Carl was working with someone, or if someone was threatening him. Because if it's the second option, then the person who killed Carl might not have been Victor's people. It might have been someone else entirely." Maya's hand started shaking. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying we might have killed the wrong person." The folder slipped from Maya's hands. Photos scattered across the desk. Jin didn't move to pick them up. He just watched her. "Tomorrow we start looking for whoever this is. And Maya?" His voice dropped. "If we find out Carl was dirty, that changes everything. It means you might have testified against the wrong cop. It means Destiny Martinez might have died for a completely different reason. And it means someone out there knows you're alive and they're waiting." Maya couldn't breathe. She asked the question she'd been avoiding for 3 weeks. "Jin, do you trust Marcus?" Jin's expression didn't change. "Why do you ask?" "Because he filmed me killing Victor, and I don't think he deleted it." Jin stood, walked to the window. For a long time he didn't speak. Then he said, "Marcus has been loyal for 12 years. But loyalty isn't permanent. It's transactional. As long as I'm more valuable alive than dead, he stays loyal." He turned to face her. "The same applies to you." Maya felt ice in her stomach. "Are you saying I'm saying everyone in this house is loyal until they're not, including me?" "Including you." Jin picked up the photo of the person meeting Carl. "We find out who this is, we find out what they wanted, and we find out if Victor was really the threat or just a distraction." He handed the photo to Maya. Because if someone out there is playing a longer game than I thought, then we're all in danger, and I need to know who I can trust." Maya stared at the photo, the figure in the baseball cap, facing away, anonymous, threatening. She thought about Marcus's smile after he deleted the video. She thought about Yuna's warning about David. She thought about Jin admitting he used her. She wasn't safe. She'd never been safe. She just traded one kind of danger for another. Jin walked toward the door, stopped, looked back. One more thing. The person in that photo? I had our people run the image through facial reconstruction using body type and gait analysis. We got 3 possible matches. One of them is a federal agent. One of them is a retired cop from Chicago. He paused. And one of them is someone who used to work for me, someone I thought was dead. Maya's voice barely a whisper. "Who?" Jin didn't answer. He just walked out. The door closed behind him. Maya was left alone with the scattered photos. She picked up the image of the person meeting Carl, held it closer, and for the first time she noticed something. On the person's left wrist, barely visible under the jacket sleeve, a tattoo, 3 small stars in a line. Maya had seen that tattoo before. She just couldn't remember where, but her body remembered. Her hands started shaking, her pulse spiked, some part of her brain screaming danger, but she didn't know why. She stared at the photo until her vision blurred. The figure in the baseball cap stared back, anonymous, familiar, terrifying. Maya's phone buzzed, unknown number. The text read, "Ask Jin about his sister. Ask him if she's really dead." Maya dropped the phone. It clattered on the desk. When she picked it up, her hands shook so hard she could barely hold it. She typed back, "Who is this?" The reply came instantly. "Someone who knows what Jin won't tell you. Check the photo again. Look at the tattoo. You've seen it before. You just don't remember when. But you will. And when you do, you'll understand that Jin didn't save you. He collected you, just like he collected his sister, just like he collected everyone in this house. We're not his people. We're his inventory. And inventory gets liquidated when it's no longer profitable." Maya looked at the doorway. Jin was gone. She looked at the photo again, the 3 stars. And then she remembered. She saw that tattoo once before, not in person, in another photo, the photo on Jin's desk, the one of his mother and his sister. She couldn't see it clearly then, but now she knew. The little girl in that photo had 3 small stars tattooed on her wrist, the same tattoo, the same placement. Maya stood. Her legs felt weak. She walked to Jin's desk. The photo was still there, mother and daughter, smiling. The little girl couldn't be more than 7 years old, too young for a tattoo. Maya picked up the photo, turned it over. On the back, written in faded ink, Seo Yun and Ji Woo. 2008. Maya's blood went cold. Seo Yun was Jin's mother, but Ji Woo. Jin told her his sister's name was Ji Woo. Jin told her his sister died when she was 8 years old. That was 16 years ago, which meant if she lived, she'd be 24 now, the same age as the person in the parking garage photo, the same build, the same height. Maya heard footsteps in the hallway. She put the photo back exactly where it was. Jin walked in, looked at her. "Did you find something?" Maya's mind raced. She forced her voice to stay calm. "No, just thinking." Jin watched her for a moment. Then he nodded. "Get some rest. Tomorrow we start digging." He walked out again. Maya waited until his footsteps faded. Then she looked at her phone. The unknown number sent one more message. His sister didn't die. She escaped, and now she's coming back for what he took from her. "You're not the first person Jin saved. You're just the first person who doesn't know she's already dead. Get out. Tonight. Or you'll end up like David, like Marcus will end up, like everyone who gets too close to the truth." Maya deleted the messages, sat in the dark. She thought about Destiny Martinez holding her backpack. She thought about Carl with finger-shaped bruises on his neck. She thought about Jin standing in front of that photo every night. And she realized she didn't know anything. She didn't know if Jin's sister was alive. She didn't know who sent those texts. She didn't know if she could trust Jin or Yuna or anyone in this house. But she knew one thing. She wasn't leaving. Because if Jin's sister was alive and she was coming for him, then Maya needed to know why. And if someone was trying to turn her against Jin, she needed to know who. And if she was just inventory waiting to be liquidated, then she needed to become too valuable to throw away. Maya stood, walked to the window. Outside the city glowed. Somewhere out there someone knew the truth. Someone killed Carl. Someone was texting her. Someone had a tattoo that matched a dead girl's. And somewhere Jin was standing in front of that photo, asking himself the same questions Maya was asking now. She pressed her hand against the glass. Her reflection stared back. She barely recognized herself. 3 weeks ago she was hiding in a bathtub waiting to die. Now she was standing in a criminal's house trying to figure out which monsters were real and which ones were just shadows. Maya's phone buzzed one last time. Same unknown number. The message read, "You made the right choice. Staying means you're ready to know the truth. Tomorrow night, Pier 9. Come alone. I'll show you who really killed Carl, and I'll show you what Jin is really building. Bring the photo. And don't tell Jin. If you do, you'll never find out what happened to David, or why Marcus is still alive when he shouldn't be, or why I'm texting you from Carl's phone." Maya looked at the message. Then she looked at the photo of the person meeting Carl. Then she looked at Jin's desk where the photo of his mother and sister was still sitting. She didn't sleep that night. She just sat in the dark, waiting, planning, wondering if she just made the worst mistake of her life, or if she was finally about to understand what game she'd been playing all along. If you made it this far, you know this isn't your average protection story. This is what happens when salvation comes wrapped in secrets, when the man who saves you might be the most dangerous thing you've ever encountered. Hit that like if Jin's brand of devotion made your heart race. And drop a comment telling me what you think really happened to Jin's sister. Because in this world, every monster has a past, and every queen has a choice. Welcome to Coffee Romance Stories, where happy endings come with questions you can't answer. Is Jin's sister really alive? Who killed Carl? What happened to David? Why is Marcus still alive when he shouldn't be? What is Jin really building? Will Maya go to Pier 9? What will she find when she gets there? Subscribe so you don't miss part 2.